let's now profile you. What I'm going to do is find out your archetype. Anyone here believe in past lives? Yeah, who's that? Yeah, you all believers. Fantastic. It makes, when you do, it can make more sense of why your life is the way it is. So I'm up to here. I've opened the case. I'm going to find his archetype. I've got 1 to 22 choices. So I've got 1 to 10, 11, 12. Martyr. Oh, you're not playing the martyr. Most people do, you know. Martyr, monster. Not a monster. Oh, disconnected. So you've come through as an archetype of being disconnected, which means you shut down, close off. You're not totally who you are. You're not totally connected to others and what you're meant to be doing in this life. Does that make any sense to you?
Total sense.
How does it make total sense to you?
I don't know. I think it just seems to be. I seem to be blocked from that connection.
Okay. You recognise it.
I do recognise it, but I haven't always recognised it.
I'll see what negative life pattern has come through. Overwhelm, potential, power, relation, sacrifice. So here is this pattern of sacrifice, very common. Sacrifice means that he will put himself into positions to sacrifice, to give more than what comes back. Usually in relationships, it's usually at his expense. And it's often in work as well. It's like I'm giving more than they're giving me back. What I'll do is I'll find the second pattern and then I'll put it all together and then we'll chat to Chris. Helpless. Letting go. He's hanging on to something. There's something that he's still holding on to, this is one of his patterns. He tends to hang on to things instead of moving on and letting it go. And we'll see if we can work this all out. And the emotion that runs it is, I have a choice of 1 to 17, so 1 to 10. This will do it, resentment. So there's some underlying resentment. You'd be surprised how. You'll be surprised how it matches the pain out of 10, the resentment towards somebody. So let's keep moving. We haven't spoken to Chris yet, so we've just got a little bit about his background. Let's just see what his belief system's about. So I'm not too sure if we're on the mark yet, but let's have a look. Future, life, family. Males. Negative belief system around men, males. How old are you, Chris?
54.
54, beautiful, 54, 50, 40, 30, 20, 15, 14, 13, age 12. Tell me about your life at age 12.
Had just moved from the US to Australia.
Okay, it's always a huge stress, first of all, on anyone, let alone a kid, when they have to move.
Mm-hmm. And first, this is amazing actually, the first real drama that I think of in my life, aside from other worries, but was being the American, having the American accent, getting the shit kicked out of me at school for being American, having to wear uniforms, landing in a school with Christian brothers who hit you, all of that stuff, which just was
shock.
Complete shock.
That, for any 12-year-old, huge shock. First of all, you leave your whole identity. Has anyone here ever moved country? It's like you enter that country as if got no more identity. Have you experienced that? Sometimes even when you move interstate, but at least that's a bit better than moving country. It's like there's no one you're connected to, unless you have family. So Chris at 12 is beaten up at school. He's got these horrible priests that are doing this horrible stuff. Huge shock, huge trauma, and he's like he's alone. He's got no real friends because he hasn't really made any. Does that make sense?
Sure does.
So this is where it's all connected. Now let's look at his patterns that I went through. Sacrifice. I talk about patterns of sacrifice. Huge sacrifice for him. No, it's like he is not valued, or how he's feeling is not taken into account. He's a big sacrifice. These bullies that decide to bully someone, he's like the sacrificial lamb. Let's go bully him. Let's go bully Chris. And then the priests there have targeted him. or they're just like that. It's still, it's like his life is opposite of sacrifice is nurture, because I have the opposite for emotions. So very unnurturing. Very past life, by the way. Do you believe in past lives?
Yeah, I do.
And when we come through with these patterns of sacrifice, we still create that sacrificial life. It's like the vibrations running us. So that's when I say you're 100% responsible, or you're 100% creator. And I've got to unwind why this is coming through for Chris, why he's got the pain, but it's taking me to age 12. And that would make sense. Huge, huge trauma. And if I thought about resentment, we talked about the emotional resentment, and it's understandable why a little kid would resent those guys that beat him up. I'm going to stand here on behalf of those Christian brothers, and I'm going to say, I'm sorry for what they did to you. I'm sorry for that pain and that suffering. I'm sorry that you had to endure that. I'm sorry that you had to feel so tortured and what those boys did to you. And I want to give back to you what was taken from you. I want you to be able to forgive me for all that pain that you endured, and accept the healing today, and let it go, and understand there's a bigger picture. I've brought in your lessons. I brought in the vibrations that came in from past lives. So now it's the time to get back that power as you did and walk out of here without pain. Are you able to do that?
Yes.
Hence why Chris has also come in with the archetype disconnection. Disconnection, what does a kid do to survive that? Disconnect. It's, that's their survival skill, huh? Yeah, that's why. So now we're going to get you, you've done it before, you did it with physically, now we're going to do it energetically. And see how that feels, Chris.
I'm guessing it's about a 1.
Right, okay, now, you had that for how long?
29 years.
Right, and about what number would it be?
Oh, look,
Pretty high?
it's 10.
Right.
Quite a deal of the time,
Right.
but
Okay.
usually if I walk a little bit, it
Right.
sort of gets down to about a 7.
And so what did you feel through that healing? What was that? You said you felt energy?
No, there was something. The first time around, I felt my energy in my hands, and then the second time, I don't know, I felt like I was there shaking. I don't know if anybody saw me shaking, but it was just seemed to run right through my body, and I gasped and said, "My God," because I couldn't believe the amount of energy that was running through my body at the time.